Hi and welcome to another Rate My Portfolio. Today we're going to be looking at Quincy McCant's portfolio. Now Quincy is an IT intern in California based in the United States of America, and he sent me his portfolio. He's a front-end developer and he's looking to find future employment opportunities, but also to showcase his existing skills. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Wow, okay, so we can see here, looking at Quincy's top of the fold, if you like, above the fold part of his portfolio, he has some very interesting things going on. First of all, I like the subtle and simple branding that you have here, Quincy. This is very nice, and it doesn't distract from, obviously, the main area of the web page. You have, on the right hand side, you have the nav bar, you have an about section, projects and contact, with some lovely hover animations as I go across the actual navigation elements themselves. Now I do like the cursor point when I move around. We get dynamic movements from the swirly objects in the background, which is a really neat and clever thing to do. And it adds a little bit more depth to the page, which an interest, of course, which is really good. And of course, you know, no portfolio is complete without the dark mode, which I will have it on at the moment to test that out, which is really good, and again shows your skill. What I like about this portfolio, just looking at above the fold here, is that we know who you are. You're telling us who you are. It's bold, it's focused, and you tell us that you are a front-end software developer and that you're obviously very excited about this career, and that you have a lot of interest in jumping in to different technologies, and I think your portfolio will show this off. So first impressions above the fold, really like this indeed. Before we start moving around and exploring the portfolio further, let's have a look at the about section and test the nav out. Oh, I like that. This is really clever, the way that you've brought these two elements to sliding together and colliding in the middle with the different contrasts of colours. This is good. Again, you're giving a bit of an explanation of yourself, about yourself should I say, and the sort of things that you can bring to potential employers in your existing company. And you talk about the everyday problems that you try and solve with obviously your skills. This is really good. I would maybe suggest, and again it's just a suggestion, that you include a photograph in this area to get a little bit more of context of exactly who you are. It's up to you, but I always think it's nice to put a face to a name to get to know the person more. Then you have a section to the right, which is the column to the right, which is basically saying, I'd love to hear from you. It's a contact form, and this is really good because you're not showing your contact details. There's no phone, there's no email, there's no opportunities for spam here. So this is a really good way of doing this. And if I click off, yes, they part and you come back to the page. We'll have a look at the other things in a minute, but on the right hand side, bottom, we have almost like a paper aeroplane icon. If I click this, okay, it brings out the same about me section, which is an interesting element, and I suppose if you're especially using this for mobile, that could be quite handy. If we can see here at the bottom, we have an icon which actually is telling you to scroll, which I like this. I don't necessarily think you need, but I do think from a user experience point of view, it adds that extra layer. So first impressions, very, very impressed indeed. There's one suggestion I would make, again, take it or leave it, but what you have is you have your LinkedIn icon, your GitHub icon, and a download file here for your resume. Now this is fine, but what I would suggest is this. I would remove those from this section here and keep them right at the bottom of your page, where I suspect your contact details are. And the reason being is because you want people to stay on your portfolio. You don't want people like me to click on the LinkedIn icon and then get lost in their own timeline and messages, because that will happen. It'll happen with me. And then before you know it, the person reviewing your portfolio will have forgotten about what it is that you're doing. So I would suggest that that's something you bear in mind. You don't have to, but I think that maybe I would remove those. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to select projects. Oh, and we get the lovely, nice, smooth scrolling animation there. That's fantastic. So straight away, I used the word focused earlier. I'm going to use it again. We're very focused in this portfolio, and I like this because we're going straight to the project. Now, this is what a portfolio is about. It's about showing off your projects. And projects can also be useful because they can show off your personality and your creativity as well. So all of these things combined within the project. Let's look. Oh, this is very interesting. Right, so immediately, just from this image, I've got the smooth scrolling. There's a level of quality here, but also what I like is that I've got an image that's focused on mobile and then desktop or laptop. So you're telling me without any words that you have designed mobile first, but you can also use this on other devices as well, going up to laptop or desktop. So without saying anything, I've got that information, and that's a really good design style, and it's well presented. When I hover over, I get a lovely sort of glaze over the project, and I get information, critical information about this project. I know what it is, I know the technologies that you're using, and I get links to the live project and the GitHub repo. And in the middle, I've got the lovely stuff which tells me the things that you did to implement it. And that, in my opinion, is the most important part about the project. Actually telling the end user, the hiring manager, that this is what you did to create this project. And the fact that you can then back it up with evidence by sending them off to the various places where they can get more sort of granular with their interrogation of the code, for example, I think is absolutely brilliant. Well done, this looks really good. And when I build or continue to build my portfolio, I will be taking this kind of step as well because I think it's a brilliant way of doing it. Let's scroll down again. I just love that. It's so smooth. It's just got this premium feel to it, Quincy. Really good. Now I'm scrolling back down again. Oh, fantastic. So what we're getting here is we're getting an NFT marketplace solution. So you're telling me that you know about these technologies. You're implementing technologies too. But then we've basically got now another sort of fun website which is using other things such as API integration and that sort of stuff. And what I like about this, let me click on the link. Yeah, again, even the projects look nice and smooth, and I'll explore that a bit later. But what I like about this is that you've got a nice gloss across the whole of your project too. In other words, it's very well presented. There's no untidy code. It looks smart. You've really chosen these projects well, and you're presenting your best work. The key factor here as well is that you're going to utilize, I'm sure you're showing other technologies. What's this? YouTube clone. Here is an example. So now you're using a clone project to show that you're able to take a design or something that maybe exists and making it better, or implementing new features on it. And I think from my experience reading about this and watching other people with their portfolios and listening to hiring managers, is that clone websites are very important because they do demonstrate that purpose, that you can take a design concept, or you can take an existing design, for example, a client might give you, and then you can actually execute it. And I think this is great. And you're using different technologies. Again, fantastic. I love this. This is really good. Now scrolling down, Netflix clone. So now we're getting, again, we've got another Netflix clone, and the amount of work that's been put into this is absolutely fantastic. Goodness me. Okay, so when I load the project up, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with images and things like that. And bearing in mind, you probably don't have the server power that Netflix has, but I mean, look at it. It's a huge body of work, and it works wonderfully. And I'll explore these in more detail later. But overall, in regards to your portfolio, which is what we're focusing on today, I love the focus. I keep saying this word, but if I'm a hiring manager, I'm getting what you do. You design software, you're a front-end developer that designs websites. Then we've got an e-commerce store. Wow, okay, again, this is another sort of feather in the cap, because e-commerce can be complicated. You're dealing with different SKUs, different stock keeping units, you're dealing with lots of volume, you're dealing with lots of sort of transactional interactions with the consumer, with their finances, money, conversion, all that sort of stuff. So this again is a real powerful project for you to be able to include. And then we're going down to what looks like a website for a company that's doing templates for various content management systems, etc. And you know, it's just a smooth, focused portfolio which combines all the skills that you know into a very, very neat package. So I'd be very proud of that. And at the bottom, okay, yes, you've thought about this. At the bottom, you have your branding, and then you have your contact details. You have your GitHub repo, LinkedIn, contact, resume. I would keep those there, absolutely. And I would just remove these three icons here. Okay, just my thoughts. Whether or not you take it, it's up to you. But keep it focused right until the end. You want people to explore your portfolio and then contact you. So, where do I start? This portfolio is, it has a premium feel to it. This portfolio, to me, when I look at it, my first impressions are that you really care about what it is that you do. You really love being a front-end developer. You certainly have an eye for design, and you love that aspect. You love building. You've got several projects here which demonstrate your technical ability and talents. And you know, as someone that's starting out in the journey, this is inspiring, because what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal. You know, you've inspired me to do better and to work harder at these sorts of stuff as well, Quincy. So you should be really proud of what you've done. And I have no doubt that, you know, when looking at portfolios, my experience of looking at portfolios in the past, this is very, very good. This is one of the top. And I would suggest that, you know, when you go looking for work in the future, if that's what you want to do, you will have no problems securing another position, because this kind of detail, this kind of effort, the time you've spent on it, I think will pay off. And also, I have no doubt you'll be updating it regularly. You've got several projects, and I think that's a reasonable number. I wouldn't go any more than that. Maybe I would say 5 is the limit. Potentially you could go through your projects and see if there was any area where you could maybe reduce that. Just because hiring managers tend to have, as we know, less time than obviously we'd like them to have when they explore your portfolios. So that's something to bear in mind. But what I like about this is that you keep it non-tech friendly. So if I don't know anything about front-end development, I know that you can build a website. I know that what you're saying you can deliver. And if I was a techie, if I was a senior dev looking at your stuff, I could go into the GitHub repo and I could really examine your code or the live project. So this is a really, really smart thing to do, Quincy. Overall, it's a phenomenal portfolio. You should be really, really proud. I'm looking forward to get this up and showcase it, and I wish you all the best moving forward. And if you have a portfolio and you're watching this and you've been inspired by Quincy's portfolio, please do get in contact with me. There's links in the comment section below or the description you'll be able to find there, and I'd be really keen to explore your portfolio and certainly hear your feedback from this one. The link for Quincy's portfolio will also be in the description, so do check that out. If you're new to the channel, and I've only been doing this for about a year or so, please, if you have the opportunity, please subscribe or give it a thumbs up. I'd be really keen for other people to that are interested in this to see my reviews, and maybe it will inspire you to create a portfolio like Quincy's. Anyway, all the best, and no doubt I'll see you next week with another video. Take care, bye.